Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Deal Scout. On today's show, we're going to have a conversation with a guy who's sold a business, now is investing in trucking and distribution, logistics, all the cool things going on. So he's going to tell you about the industry behind that and why that's a good deal to check out. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Josh, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, man. So tell us a little bit about who you are and about your awesome accent.
Thank you. Thank you. Obviously my name's Daniel Stoychev. I am actually, going back to the accent thing. I'm originally from Bulgaria. So I came here right after first grade. My parents won a green card. Let's see what we can do with the American dream, as they say. Um, Originally from Bulgaria, moved to Dallas, then we moved to Chicago, which is kind of how, we got into trucking. So my dad was a driver. It was a big, industry amongst the Europeans back then. It still is now. It's pretty much mainly Europeans, Eastern Europeans. You've got a lot of different nationalities kind of taking over this business. So my father was a driver, and little by little, he got into the business as a driver, then bought trucks and more trucks, hired drivers, and kind of, created a thing of his own. So, that's kind of where it started.
Awesome. All right. So how old were you when your dad first got into trucking?
So I was probably 7 or 8 years old. 7 or 8 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. And then did he have you working in the family business, growing up? Were you exposed to the trucking industry?
I started becoming more and more exposed as we moved to Chicago, and my parents started really an outfit of their own. I was around, obviously, my mother, who really ran the show behind the scenes and dealt with, shippers and, payments and safety, all kinds of things that are part of the business. So as I got older, I really started to help out and learn about the business. So I really did see them grow the business and see what it really takes to make it in this business. But keep in mind, they had no idea, no help, absolutely nothing in the beginning. And to go into a trucking business, when you're an immigrant and know nothing, it's pretty tough. So I learned, how it is to start a business, but also how tough it is when you have no idea about anything. So props to my parents really for getting into that and getting me into that. So it's been a long journey.
What do you think was the biggest challenge of being an immigrant business owner or starting a business as an immigrant, not, like coming from Bulgaria to Dallas, then to Chicago? Like what was that like? And what were some of the challenges you saw growing up?
So I have, my family has a strong business background. In Europe, they had a travel agency. They had a huge import export of furs, leathers back in, during the 90s. So my parents come from a business background. But to start a business here in America without knowing the laws, without knowing the rules, and really just risking pretty much everything you have, the challenge was just, they're scared, right? Like, what's going to happen? What if we do this wrong? What if we do this? Who do we call? We don't know who to call. So my mom just kind of little by little made a plan, tested this out, tested that out. Like I told you in the beginning, my father was a driver, and my parents are like, wow, we came from having a business in Europe to being kind of truck drivers here. We need to step it up, right? So my mom really pushed and learned the rules and the laws, and she really took it a step further. Like I told you, they bought trucks and they hired drivers and negotiated contracts and really built a strong company that lasted for 10 plus years. So yeah.
Got it. So, growing up kind of in the family business around trucking, about, buying trucks and expanding drivers and the logistics and all the information needed for that. At what point did you say that this is a business that you want to do, when you get older and now that you're in the investment space yourself, like at what point did you say I should do this for myself?
So as I told you, I've been in around it since my entire life here in America. And I've always been business minded. I have never put myself in a position to think I want to go and work for a company. That was never in my agenda. That was never my plan. I was very strong willed about that. So as I went into college, as I went into college, I knew it had to be business. So I started studying business, finance and accounting. And I had to have a plan. I had to have a plan. So my parents at that time, they, they were still in the business, obviously. So this is what, 5, 6 years ago. And I said, guys, you're running, decent operation. They had about, 30, 40 trucks. I said, I want to take this further. I want to take this further. And they were really persuading me against it. But I looked at it at a bigger vision, right? I didn't want to be the one kind of handling the small stuff and just maintaining a certain level. I wanted to take this far. I wanted to venture into other opportunities. I wanted to make this, a strong organization. So long story short, I dropped out of college. I was, sophomore, and I said, listen, I need to undertake this. At that time, I was also working for a real estate developer. So I said, you know what? I've got to go on my own. So long story short, I had a friend of mine who I knew had some dispatching, which was a big part, is a big part of this business, had dispatching experience. I had all the other knowledge, more business minded, more, from the organizational side. I said, let's do this. So I was 19 years old when I really got into this business. You know, I remember now, as you asked me, looking for offices, driving around, looking at other trucking companies, and I'm thinking, what's going to happen here, right? We've got to make it happen. If this guy can do it, I can do it, right? So that's really always been my mindset with anything that I do. And it started, I'm not going to lie, it started sort of as a joke. I never knew that it would be, what it is and what I've been through and where it's going. So yeah, it all started when I was 19, to answer really in a short way.
What was the biggest challenge there? 19-year-old dropped out of college to build a trucking business, you and a buddy. What was the biggest challenge you faced?
Biggest challenge is really, is this gonna work? I mean, let's be honest, no matter how confident you are, no matter how much knowledge, experience, whatever money that you have, right? Is this going to work out? That was always in the back of my mind. I mean, here I am, 19 years old. I grew up here, right? So my biggest challenge was a lot of the people that are in this industry, especially here where we are located in the Chicagoland area. These are, old school truckers. A lot of them, they're the people that run the businesses, they really, a lot of them have no other option, right? So what am I doing? Dropping out of a, university. I've got a lot of opportunities, a lot of things I can do, a lot of, I can go work for a big company. I can, rise to the top. What am I doing starting a trucking company? And let's be honest, it's got its reputations, right? I mean, trucking logistics, it's not, it's not a luxurious business as, to put it. Is this for me? What am I doing? So that was kind of to overcome that. I'm still overcoming it, but I have always put in the back of my mind, hey, this is a stepping stone for me. I don't want to be always in trucking, right? But it's become a passion, and it's, I'm every day, where can we take this? Where can we go? So that was the biggest challenge, really, overcoming this mental kind of barrier. Is this going to work out? Is this for me? But you know what? I've learned to love it, and, obviously it's working out.
Yeah. Um, this is funny. All right. So take me back to the day where you quit college and you told mom, I'm out of college. All your aspirations for me to go to college. I quit college. I'm building my own business. What did she say to you?
My parents have always been supportive, no matter what. I mean, my mom to me is, I'm talking more about my mom because she's really, let's be honest, the brains of the brains of everything. Okay, behind just our entire life, right? She's super business minded, super smart. 3 psychology degrees. She's a very smart woman. Built very successful businesses in Europe. And I look up to her, not just obviously as a mother, right, but as a business owner and what she's gone through. I mean, that could be a podcast series in its own. But anyways, so
wait a second. Is she in the room with you? Is that why
she's not?
Okay?
No. She's actually in Greece right now as we speak.
Okay, go.
So, but so my parents knew obviously about me, business minded, all this stuff. So when I was in college, and I said, listen, I'm really thinking about taking this seriously. I had a conversation with them. they said, do what you want, become the next, whatever, Bill Gates, if you want, but you're finishing your school, you're finishing your degree, you're not dropping out. It's not going to work out. If you're smart enough to do the business, you're smart enough to balance it out and to, you know, do both things. So what happened, the way I got into it is this is a funny setup now that I look back at it, that I was driving to the city. Okay. The university was in downtown Chicago. I lived about 40 minutes from Chicago. I was driving to the city at night classes. Mm-hmm. During the day, I worked for a real estate developer doing accounting, bookkeeping operations, that stuff, part-time. On the weekends, I was setting up the business. And as it progressed, I was literally going from where I was working with the real estate developer on lunch break to my office, setting up the office, handling little bit during the day. I had my sister, my girlfriend at the time, who now is my wife, and my mom helping with paperwork while I was working at the real estate developer. I would get out, I'd go to school, I'd come back, prepare for the next day for the trucking business. So little by little, things worked out. I quit, obviously, working for the gentleman that owned the real estate development company. I started, obviously full-time working at the trucking company. Nighttime, I drive, 40 minutes to night school. I'd come home, do schoolwork, go back to work in the next day, building the business. So it was tough, right? It was tough, but that's where it started from. Yeah, it was a journey.
So last time we spoke and hung out, you were dating. But you're married now. You have a wife. I see a ring on your finger. Tell us what the heck happened there.
I don't know, right?
Congratulations. Salute.
Thank you so much. It's a blessing. So I've been with my girlfriend since she helped me start the business. Okay, I was just gonna put that out there. She's
the brains.
She's the brains. She's the brains. I push. She's the brains. But no, she's wonderful. She helped me start the business. We started dating when I was 19. I have pictures on my phone of her building the first desk. And she did the accounting actually for a couple of years, and obviously was a part of the beginning. So we got engaged last March, and we got married on my birthday, July 2nd, and now we're planning a wedding in Mexico. So we did the court thing, and then we're gonna do the wedding in Mexico next year. So
nice. Why Mexico?
You know what? We really struggled with this because let's be honest, it's not the easiest thing for a lot of people, right? To just, especially now during these ridiculous times, to go overseas to a wedding for many reasons. But we wanted to do it here. One, I wanted to give people an experience, not just let's go to a wedding and go home, right? I want people to take time off to enjoy a wedding, to spend a few days on the beach, have fun, just enjoy. So we've always kind of talked about a destination wedding, bringing everybody together. I've got friends from here coming, family and friends from Europe, people from Florida, coming, different states. So it's going to be fun. We love Mexico. So that's, also another reason.
Very cool. And they got good tequila there, right? So
yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
Of course.
Is she from Bulgaria as well? Bulgaria?
No. She's actually Ukrainian.
Ah, no kidding. Yeah, okay. Got it. So as you're building this, right, give us some milestones of what you're, where you guys are at in terms of business, right? Like you guys are doing really, really well, had a really strong year. Give us and the listeners some idea of how you built this.
So how I built this and where I'm at now, I'm going to go back to the beginning. Of course, I started the business with, a friend of mine, and, we just started doing the bare necessities, right? He was dispatching, he was, working with shippers and brokers to find these loads. We had 2 trucks, right? So, it was his father and one other guy who drove trucks. And we were like, where is this going to go? You're dispatching. I'm doing, safety, all this stuff. We were posting ads on different trucking websites to hire drivers. I'm like, nobody knows us. We got to, what's going to happen here, right? So for a while we struggled, we were like, are we going to grow? And just to kind of give you a little bit about the industry, so there's different ways, right? When you talk about logistics and trucking and all this stuff, what we did is we provided two really different types of services in the beginning. We had, obviously we had the authority, the corporation, the setup to be able to obviously hire truckers, right, to provide shipping um, services to shippers and brokers. And we also provided services to truckers by giving them the freight to haul, right? And we took a percentage of that. So we didn't have our own trucks in the beginning. We hired people who own their own trucks. And for organizing the compliance, the accounting, all the back office stuff, we charge a percentage for that. Okay. So he had relationships in the industry. I had a little bit of relationships industry and experience. So little by little by little, we started growing. We started building a brand around this, right? Who we are, what we do, how we do things. And that's where we kind of started to stand out. Okay. Word of mouth. This trucker told that trucker, this broker told this broker. We had a really good record with the Department of Transportation as far as safety goes, which this is a huge, huge thing. You have to have a compliant company for people to be able to trust to use your services, right? To ship, thousands and thousands of pounds across the country. So we started growing, we started marketing, we started to develop a system, and we built a brand, right? So little by little, we grew to 20, 30, 40, 50 trucks. We had we had marketing system in place. We had a compliance system in place. We started building relationships with brokers and shippers. We did a lot. We did a lot. We built a lot. We created a lot of relationships. We grew the company to, I would say, right before I sold my share off, to, $6-7 million revenue. And it was a successful journey, right? To that far, to that place. However, I decided, you know what? I need to do something else. Okay. I need to do something else. And I need to take this a step further. We just had different visions, right? After it became successful, and we were at a tipping point, kind of, okay, we can either go this way, go back, or we can push forward and double this and triple this and just grow, right? We were at that point where it could have gone either way. And I decided, to go my own way. I decided to go my own way. I, looked at other opportunities. I went back to school for a while. And long story short, I sold my share to my partner, who we started this in the beginning. Again, we have a great relationship. We just had different visions. Mm-hmm. So I sold my share and I said, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to get into different industry. This is not for me. It's successful. I love it, but something else is calling my name. I have to do that, right? So a couple months later, I said, you know what? I got to get back into this industry, okay? I got to get back into this industry, and I got to make what I made before 5 times better. So we ended up purchasing a company. We invested in the company. It had, again, like the beginning, it had very little going there. And we put it together actually with, now this might be confusing. We put it together with my parents' old company because they got out of the business. They left the business. So we put it together with certain, small foundational things, and we rebranded it under the current name. And fast forward, it's going to be a year. No, it's going to be a little under a year. In February, we're going strong. We're at almost 40 trucks. We've got 5 different services that we offer. Mainly, we offer truck, trailer leasing for people who want to get into industry and start driving. We have fleet support and management. We have compliance. We're offering insurance, and we're just now in the process of looking to acquire brokerage to be able to, in certain instances, offer that service as well to shippers. So go directly with the shipper rather than always working with the brokers. So we are taking this a step further. than I did before. And we have a lot of plans for 2022. And yeah, that's kind of what's going on, where we were and where we're going.
Very cool. All right. So in terms of investment, right? So for
Yes.
people out there looking for deals, right?
Okay.
Where's the money in trucking?
So where's the money in trucking? I've been seeing, I'm going to mention this. I've been seeing a lot of so-called gurus, right? Gurus on Facebook, on Instagram, everywhere, talking about making all this money in the trucking industry. Everybody's getting into trucking industry. A lot of people call me and they say, hey, I want to get into the trucking industry. I see your guys' company. You have great reviews. People are talking about you. And I asked him, okay, how many years experience do you have? Or what's your experience in this? I don't. I watched a YouTube video of so-and-so talking about money in the trucking industry. So I'm like, okay, listen. And then I start to kind of tell them, they're like, oh, okay. So going back to the question again, the way you can make money in this industry, where the money is I'm going to start what we're doing, right? And then I'll kind of go from there. So the main idea, right, is to provide a service. Okay, to provide a service. So what we do as a company, we have strong relationships with brokers and shippers. Okay, for us to have that, we have to have the equipment to be able to provide that service. So what we do is we ship refrigerated goods, so meat, poultry, anything that needs to be kept in a refrigerator. We do hazardous materials, and we do general household goods. And they can mix and match kind of in different equipment. If it's hazardous materials, it can be shipped in a reefer. If it's paint, it needs to be kept at a certain temperature. So there's a lot of complexities there. So providing that service to the broker, you need trucks. So truckers are two different, I would put them in two different categories. You can be a company driver working for the company, where we own the truck, we own the trailer, you're getting in the truck and you're driving. I'm either paying you per mile or percentage, flat salary, something like that, right?
Sure.
Or you can own the truck. Those are called owner operators. And you can work with the company like ourselves, and we pay you a percentage. Depends on the percentage. It could be anywhere from 10% all the way up to 20 to 25%. Really depends. And we then take you as a trucker, truck driver, owner, operator, and we as a company, you have to have a reputation, you have to have connections, you have to have something, right, for people to want your truckers to haul. We turn around and we say, okay, we have guys in this area of the country, we have guys in this area of the country, let's start hauling loads for you, right? So that can happen in three different ways. It can happen either on the open market. So there's different load boards, there's different softwares where you can find shipments that need to go out now, right? A lot of people do that. It's not a mystery. A lot of people can create an account. A lot of people can do this. It's where you're going to take it and the relationships you're going to build to maximize the profit, to grow a good organization, to last 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, right? To last. So that's kind of like the main part where people make money, right? Us as a company, we make money from providing freight services to shipping companies or brokers. We take a percentage of that cut. We pay the rest of the drivers, to the owner operators. That's pretty much a standard way of making money. Again, what you do further is where it's going to make the difference. So what we also do is we provide fleet management services. So I have a lot of guys who come to me who say, I don't have a truck. I have maybe a driver or two drivers I want to drive myself. So we can pretty much take them from $0 to making hundreds of thousands in revenue in a matter of months. How do we do that? Obviously, there's a lot of details that play into it, but if you have the driver, if you know somebody that wants to drive, we even provide referral services and recruiting services. You can put a driver without owning the truck, without owning the trailer, without having any experience in trucking. If you find the right company, they can find you a truck by either leasing it to you. They can find you a trailer by leasing it to you. Put the driver, handle the safety, handle the onboarding, handle the recruiting, handle the payments, everything, right? So I've got a lot of guys who have no experience or some experience, and they have 2, 3, 4, 5 trucks with us. And what they're doing other things, they're doing other businesses, or they have a job. We're managing everything for them. We're sending them every Thursday and Friday their statements and paying them for the work their truckers do. So this is just one of the many, many reasons and many ways that you can make money in this industry, with a company like ourselves.
So one of my partners, one of my clients has a successful business, and
Okay.
they're looking to add trucking, right, and distribution and shipping, right?
Sure.
They're in the commercial space to their portfolio. So what advice do you have for them, and how could they potentially work with you?
So advice is they have to know what they want, where they want to take this, right? Because that's the first thing. Why do I want to get in this industry, and where do I want to take this, right? If you want to buy a couple of trucks and you want to start offering services, there's different ways you can do it. Depends on, is this going to be your core business, or is this just a side hustle, as they say, right?
Mhm.
So they can, for example, partner with a company like us. What we'll do is, hey, what do you guys want to do? What are your goals? What are your plans? What's your experience? We get to know the background of what they do and who they are, right? If this is just a venture that they want to go into, we offer consulting, we offer coaching, we offer all the services that they may need from A to Z to get into this industry. And we can be in their partner, as I told you earlier, by setting up the equipment, by setting up the contracts, by setting up everything they need to be compliant on the road, and see what they want to do. Do they want to work under our company, work as a partnership where we handle everything and they don't worry about anything and we take a percentage? Do they have drivers and they want to give those drivers for us to, again, handle, put in the trucks, have them, set up to offer services to our shippers and brokers? Or do they want us to guide them in a direction where for them to do what we do, right? So you really have to answer, how much time do I have? How much money do I want to invest? What's my experience and what's my goals? But the sky's the limit, especially right now in this industry. The biggest problem, however, right now, this is not a surprise, in general, all across industries, there's a shortage of a lot of things, okay? There's a shortage of trucks, there's a shortage of trailers, there's a shortage of drivers, and quite frankly, there's a shortage of people that want to work. Okay, uh, so that kind of creates a recipe for things to not be so successful, especially during this time, unless you already have somebody like ourselves who can partner with you and kind of put you under our wing, right, to get you where you need to go. Because we've been through the good, we've been through the bad, let me tell you. So that's kind of where experience, connections, and years behind your back have a big role to play.
Yeah, super cool. Now you talk about what's currently going on with supply chain shortage, labor shortage, talent, equipment, all of the above, right?
Yes.
As this maybe gets smoothed out, and let's just say we go back to normal, which who knows what that even
Yeah.
means.
What's normal nowadays?
So freaking weird. But in the future, when it comes to electric vehicles, self-driving trucks and such like that, how do you think that will impact your business, your work?
I have these conversations with people quite often, especially they ask me, what industry are you in? I say, transportation investments and things like that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's going to get wiped off in a few years. That they have been talking about this for, uh, 20 plus years. Are we making advancements? Absolutely. Should we? Absolutely. But I just don't see, and I do extensive research. There's a lot of companies, there's a lot of startups, there's a lot of venture capitalists investing in this and all that. There's no clear picture of what's going on, and a clear plan. And hey, this is happening, then this is happening, and that's happening. So I'm not worried about it. I don't think a lot of people should worry about it. Should you keep it in the back of your mind and see what's going on? Yes, but to put a 40,000 plus vehicle on the road, I mean, if you just see how some of these maneuvers are to get the stuff unloaded, to get it from A to B, I don't think we're ready for that. People are not ready for that, right? And technology is not there yet to that extent, and it's going to take a lot of adopting and a lot of, in a way, brainwashing, okay, for that to happen. So I would say, 10, 15, 20 years to see something more than what it is, now. In my opinion, maybe I could be wrong, but that's not my concern right now at all.
So you think we're a little far off to be a concern?
We're far off to be concerned. Yeah, we're far off to be concerned. Especially with this autonomous, completely self-driving trucks. Yeah, no, no. Electric trucks, obviously, they're here, right? They're on the roads. There's companies like FedEx, UPS. They're already using them. They're using them for short distances in the yards, in enclosed commercial space. I was reading recently. I think maybe there have been a few journeys across certain states from A to B. But for it to take over the industry, no, no, no. You need that human factor in there, and you're gonna need it for a long, long, long time before we start being more robotized or robotic than we are now. So yeah, I'm not concerned. No.
Do you drive yourself?
Oh, absolutely not. No, no,
Why not?
no, I don't. You know what? I don't, for many reasons. I'm not interested in that aspect of it. I understand it 100%. My father's a driver. He still drives to this day. Okay. I've been in a truck. I understand what it's like to be behind the wheel, which is why, we kind of stand apart and makes us more successful. We focus on that too, right? What's the driver thinking? What's the driver doing? But never driven. I've never driven. I've driven the truck around, but I've never been on the road hauling loads, which can be a good or bad thing in some people's eyes. But I think it's a good thing.
Very cool. So your accent is so cool, man. Like this whole time, I'm just like if I close my eyes and try to picture. So the people are just listening. They're like, "God, man, this is a really cool accent, right?"
Josh, I don't have an accent, man. What accent?
I have the accent, not you, right?
It's funny. I when I go back to Europe,
Yeah.
people say, "Where are you from?" What do you mean where I'm from? I'm from here. I'm from this city. No, no, you don't live here anymore, right? And I said, no, I don't. Okay, so I don't. When I speak Bulgarian, they can see my American accent that I don't speak clear Bulgarian, right? And here's the opposite. So I guess I just don't fit in anywhere.
So because if you go to Dallas, like my son was born in Dallas, and we lived in Dallas for a little bit, and like I picked up some of the cowboy, the Dallas talk a little bit. So it's interesting how our language starts to overlap depending on if we're in the South or the West, the Midwest, or the North, right? So it's just we start to combine languages. Let me ask you this question: in terms of when you go over there, what is your favorite food that you miss that they don't have over here?
In Bulgaria or Dallas?
Oh, let's go
Good
Bulgaria.
question, right?
Bulgaria, yeah.
Bulgaria. So, my mom cooks at home. So when I visit, I get, I'm pretty lucky that she cooks and she makes amazing food. But when I go over there, it's different, right? The soil is different there when you grow certain, um, whether it's peppers or tomatoes or cucumbers. Not that I eat too much of tomatoes or cucumbers, but there's a lot of homemade dishes. We have a famous dish, super famous dish, right? It's called banica. So it's pretty much like phyllo dough. So it's a pastry. You bake it. You can make it certain different. So it's layered phyllo dough, and you can either have pumpkin, cinnamon, and walnuts inside, or you can make it with feta cheese. So that's obviously authentic there that people make that is amazing. We have a lot of dishes, in old school clay pots with tomatoes and peppers and beef and all kinds of stews that have been made for generations. So just having that prepared by somebody back home, that's priceless when you're out of the country. So
Very cool. What's as you're building this business, right? You merged two businesses together, and you're scaling it, growing it. Had a great year. You got 40 trucks on the road. You guys got tons of things moving and going. What's the future look like for you in terms of next couple of years, 5 years, 10 years?
I ask that myself every single day.
Yeah.
So our biggest thing always is it's great to grow. It's great to expand. It's great to make money. It's great to see other people making money because of you, right? To me, you know, that's a huge factor in why I am just an entrepreneur business owner in the first place. I want to see people around me successful. So we definitely want growth. We're working on growth. We're constantly growing, but I like to take a step back and stabilize what I currently have. What are we doing? Are we going too fast? Are people that work with us, are we missing something, right? So as we grow, I always like to take a step back and stabilize what we currently have and improve upon it. Then, push forward. So as far as growth goes, obviously right now, as we're not even a full year into this new company, this new venture, my phone is blowing up, right? So we're growing, we've got interest, people want to work with us, word of mouth marketing. So I want to have a good system as far as growth, right? Onboarding new drivers, new fleet owners. I want to have a stable system so that can work by itself. We're getting into the brokerage side, as I told you. So we're looking to acquire brokerage. We're looking to offer that service. We're looking, obviously, the biggest challenge is we're looking to stabilize a good, good lines, good paths of equipment coming in, right? So trailers, trucks, to be able to keep growing, right? And offer the services we do, keep hiring drivers, keep, helping people grow their own fleets within our fleet. We're getting into insurance. We started offering insurance policies for all of our truckers underneath us, so they don't have to go out and get ripped off with quotes and things like that. We can manage everything for them. So we're getting into brokerage. We're getting into insurance. We're growing our fleet. We're growing our partnerships. My biggest thing is, we're trying to open up offices and division in the South. So our next kind of big move will be a flatbed division, where we're offering flatbed division and flatbed fleet management services, primarily in the South. So we're talking about Texas, Carolinas, Georgia, Louisiana. That's kind of our next.
Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure
Well,
that we're in there in Florida.
Florida through Florida. I'm going to tell you, I don't know. Florida's not really a hotspot for transportation.
Why is that?
You know what? To ship to Florida is great. You can get, very good freight. You can get, especially produce in the summer and things like that. But it's known that coming out of Florida, people don't even pick up anything in Florida. They leave Florida to go to Georgia, to go to Atlanta, and then they pick up freight and go out of there. I don't know. Many reasons, I guess, but it's not really a hot spot too much. No, coming out of Florida.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So as you're building, growing this, like if I asked your wife, I said, what's Daniel's superpower in business? What would she say?
Does it have to be one?
Yeah, it has to be one.
Communication. All right. Communication. It sounds a little redundant, but for me, communication is everything. Just in general, knowing how can I do something to help, people I work with. Can I ask somebody about something I don't know? So I'm good at communicating. I'm good at speaking with people and really kind of bringing things together. Okay. So communication, and I'm good at pulling strings. All right.
So you're going to add one. Together. All right. So pulling strings. What do you mean by this?
Yeah. Pulling strings. So I always make things happen. All right. I've always kind of, made myself proud of that. And as I get older, I become better and better at it. So there's a solution for everything, right? So I don't want to hear no. I don't want to hear no, and I'm not going to tell somebody no. Okay. There's always a way to make everything happen. Maybe it's not the way you thought about, but we're going to make it happen another way. So yeah. Cool. But I like to think I have a lot of superpowers. All right. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All of us guys do. As we're going through this, like what questions should I be asking you about the trucking industry, distribution, logistics? What questions should I be asking you that I didn't ask?
We've covered a lot, but in such a complex industry, there's a lot of questions, to ask. we're always looking for new opportunities, right? So my biggest thing moving forward is, obviously, as I mentioned before, we want to stabilize what we have, but I don't like to stay in one place, right? So we're always looking to expand. As I mentioned, we're looking to acquire brokerage, so that's our biggest thing. We're looking to, obviously, we're always open to entertaining possible additional acquisitions. Obviously, we've been through that already. Acquisitions of other operations, smaller operations, smaller fleets, larger fleets. So there's a lot of opportunity in that, especially now. There's a lot of people who, have a trucking company. They just don't know what to do with it, right? So, one thing that I do want to mention, we don't really talk about this, is we're also offering outside consulting, right? So if somebody has a trucking company like of ours, we offer that type of consulting. We can come in, we can show the ropes based on what they're going through and what they're looking to do, how to get there. What are you lacking? Because I've had numerous people come in. I've had numerous people that I've talked to that, hey, I want to know, I think I might be doing a great job at this. I think I might be successful, but I want to be more successful. I want to be more organized, more compliant when it comes to certain things. I don't want to miss anything. So, having people come in and, look at your operations, professionals that know what they're doing, obviously, that's, to me, that's gold, right? For somebody to point out and to critique your operations to see how they can help you. So um, there's always a lot of room for improvement.
Very cool. Now, in terms of acquisitions, right? What size acquisitions are you looking at, or that you'd be open to look at?
It really depends, obviously, on what the history is, where it's going. It's a very tricky industry when it comes to acquisitions, right? Because at the end of the day, especially, if you don't have any company owned equipment, right? If you don't have any trucks that the company owns, but they're providing a service where it's people with their own trucks, and they're really just have the employees and the system put in place to make the wheel go around, you're really buying air in some instances, right? I mean, it doesn't, tomorrow it can disappear. New ownership takes charge, it can disappear. They might not like the system. So we're very careful when we get approached and when we approach businesses like that. As far as size, it really depends. We don't really entertain anything under 10 million in revenue from where we're looking to go. But again, it depends, on the type of revenue. When I say type of revenue, is it company owned equipment revenue, or is it owner operator revenue? Okay. What other services are they providing? Are they providing just freight services, brokerage, owner operator, middleman type of work? Or are they providing full, 3PL brokerage? What's their system like? What's their, retention of the drivers and of the, relationship? So we're open. I never like to say I'm only looking for this or this. We're open. We know we can do it. We know we can offer great partnerships and, take things to the next level. So, the doors are open for review, as I like to say.
Very cool. So for people out there who are looking to get into trucking, the deals of trucking, right, from investors, or for people who might have a deal for you to maybe look at,
Sure.
what's a good place for them to connect with you and maybe do a deal together?
LinkedIn is great. I'm on LinkedIn, of course. Email, phone number. I'm sure you can share that information.
Yep, we can put
with
that in
them.
the show notes if you like.
So I'm on my phone, my email, and I'm plugged in 24/7. I hardly am plugged out. So people, it's not difficult for people to get in touch with me.
Very cool. Last question.
Of course.
What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? You opened up another page here. I love history. I love movies about accomplishment, about biography. Probably the movie Alexander, with Colin Farrell, about Alexander the Great. I've seen that movie multiple times.
Yeah. Why so?
Why so? So I'm a huge fan of Alexander the Great, obviously. I don't know if you know too much about the background, but he was 16 years old when he started to conquer um, Greece. He moved on to conquer Persia. He wanted to conquer the known world, right? So he conquered, almost 80% of the known world by the time he was 32 years old. And even that wasn't enough, right? So, and as I study all these different, different people like him that have accomplished, everybody looks up to him. Julius Caesar, all these other emperors, Roman emperors, they look up to him. So that says something about the guy, right? I mean, his story is fascinating, and I'm just super intrigued with what he has done, what he has accomplished, and everything that's, um, obviously that doesn't exist nowadays, right? But a lot of the things we have in modern day, mixture of cultures and all that stuff, is thanks to, obviously thanks to him. So, yeah, that would be my favorite movie.
Very cool. Very cool. So what we'll do is we'll include all your links and your contact information in the show notes. So people listening in, if you want to connect with our guests and do a deal with them, whether you're looking to get into trucking, you'd like to sell your trucking company or distribution company, fleet company, you heard the kind of deals he's looking for. The purpose and mission of the show is to put deals and deal makers together. So reach out to our guests, say thank you, and find a way to do a deal with them. If you would like to talk about a deal here on the Deal Scout, head on over to thedealscout.com, fill out a quick form, and maybe we'll get you on the show next. Till then, talk to you all on the next episode. Cheers.